What's going on, everybody? It's the Game Master 84 bringing you guys today a brand new video. Daily Dose. Talk about something unfortunate, some news, some interesting things came up the other day, and I've been wondering whether or not I want to talk about it, and I've decided that we need to talk about this. Just something that's been on my mind. I'm sure it'll come up when we do our podcast with Big Rose speaking as well. But anyway, guys, before we get into it, make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe and that like button before you guys forget. It'd be greatly appreciated. It greatly helps the channel grow. And here we go. It's a lot, so be ready. This is a series of tweets from Charlie Intel, who was talking, tweeting about the investors meeting that was going down on Tuesday. So let's see here. Activision Blizzard confirms reports of layoffs at the company. Activision Blizzard is to prioritize game development versus non-development jobs like marketing, accounting. What's the word for it? When you have to get like licensing, things like that. All those kinds of jobs before they were to fire like a programmer per se. Moving on, Kotaku's reporting the main layoffs. Okay, we already read that. Let's see here. Here goes some stats. Call of Duty was the #1 selling console franchise worldwide in 2018, a feat accomplished for 9 of the last 10 years. Black Ops 4 sold through more units than Black Ops 3 in its launch quarter, with PC units up 3 times and average hours per player increased. Full game downloads for Black Ops 4 were over 40% of console sell-through. So digital is becoming a big deal. Black Ops 4 sales during the second half of this quarter was lower than Activision expected. The microtransaction sales are also lower at the start, but have increased. Activision Blizzard is making adjustments to the company, including working to release more new games and more in-game content more often, mobile initiatives, and increase development resources. Activision confirms they're going to launch a city-based franchise league for Call of Duty. That's for the esports side of things, guys. Here we go. Working to bring more content more often with new development resources. Company plans to better integrate studios to deliver more consistent releases. This is where we get into it, guys. So that was all part of the tweet, but it kind of like leads into this. I had to read those. So wish you guys are listening. I want you guys to really listen to this and let me know what your guys' feelings are on this. I will let you know after I'm done reading everything, and we'll kind of just go from there. Activision officially confirms Infinity Ward is developing Call of Duty 2019, says game is rooted in franchise history. Activision said that they have high expectations for this game. It says they are extremely excited for it and what it represents. The game is rooted in the franchise history, but they state that the unit sales may be lower than Black Ops 4. Activision says they are continuing their partnership with Tencent to bring a new mobile game or a new mobile Call of Duty game. Not clear if this is a China-only game or worldwide. Activision Blizzard Chief Financial Officer said that they are investing a lot into Call of Duty's development and to bring new content more often. Lots of changes at the company happening this year. The layoffs affected roughly 800 employees. Activision Blizzard CFO just said that the new Call of Duty game the team is building is what the team believes one of the best Call of Duties ever built. Activision president, the next season of content on February 19th is the biggest content release for Black Ops 4. Also, Activision Blizzard CEO just said that in the 10 years he's seen Call of Duty development, he's never seen this much excitement amongst the studios for a new Call of Duty game. Activision Chief Operating Officer, the COO, just gave a non-answer to will they have free-to-play games. Says they are a unique place in the industry to deliver on changing models, but then just says they'll have free-to-play mobile games. Activision says they split with Bungie because they didn't own the Destiny IP and they wanted to work on owned IPs. Says Destiny failed to meet financial expectations and would hurt results. Also said that they would put resources internally in Destiny when it could go to an owned IP. The decision to split with Bungie was finalized in December. Activision CEO says Bungie had approached them to go independent, and Activision agreed because of lack of revenue, mutual parting. And that was that from the meeting. One last thing that kind of came out after the fact. Rob Kostich, president of Activision, and Bobby Kotick, CEO of Activision Blizzard, said on Call of Duty 2019, new campaign, huge and expensive multiplayer world, and more. And there's more to the article, guys. I'm not going to go into all the nitty-gritty details about it. But something I want to talk about. So, I mean, obviously they're doing a bit of a restructuring at Activision Blizzard. And it's always sad to hear when you're talking about game developers who are losing their jobs for whatever reason they're losing their jobs. That is unfortunate. That is the name of the game, though, these days. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know that they were saying that they were taking it from, like, the marketing and the licensing departments, but, like, I've seen people online post, like, hey, I was programmer at Blizzard for 14 years. Now I don't have a job. Like, okay, obviously not everything was from gaming. Just saying. I mean, and I know there's about 800 layoffs, about 770 to 800 is kind of the reported numbers. And I understand that, obviously not all of it wasn't going to be non-gaming jobs, but still, I mean, it's just really interesting to kind of a few days later see the aftermath, which is one of the reasons I wanted to wait before I decided to say anything or make any kind of video about it, just so I kind of start seeing all the news reports and seeing what was going on with people, where they were landing, things of that nature. But I think the thing that kind of bugs me the most is two things. If they're trying to make it more expansive and trying to do all these expansive things and make everything bigger and do everything faster and come up with more iterations and do all these things, why are we letting so many people go? That doesn't seem very doesn't make a lot of sense. It seems kind of a backwards way to be going about doing that. So, I mean, granted, I'm not involved in all the business decisions at Activision. I know it's crazy, but it just, I don't know. It doesn't sit right with me. I feel like there's way more to the story that we're not hearing about. And which is rightfully so. I mean, we're not the shareholders at the Bungie meeting, so we don't get to hear that kind of stuff. But I mean, we do kind of, based with guys like Charlie Antel, which is a great follow for all Call of Duty news and other games as well, but mainly Call of Duty news, in my opinion. But the other thing I want to talk about, guys, is I really feel like, because the more and more you read about it, and it's something that doesn't quite get covered in just that one series of tweets, they really hammered home the hey, new game coming out in 2019. Yeah. And it's just like, okay, we haven't even had our big second content drop for this game, for Black Ops 4. Like, why are we I don't want to say burying it, but why are we, not really pushing it like we should be, in my opinion? I mean, I feel like they should still be pushing it really hard. I mean, because you haven't even dropped your second DLC. I mean, Blackout's still got a long way to go as far as content, zombies as well. I mean, you really only had one DLC drop, which we're not going to get started on that. That's a whole nother video that's coming out. But, like, what happened? Like, why are we just like, see ya. Sorry, guys. You guys had your 3 months to get your game going, and, well, you didn't, so you get nothing. You win nothing. It's literally how I feel about how they are treating Black Ops 4. It's really unfortunate because it's really a great game. I just don't get it, guys. I just don't get what is going on at Activision Blizzard anymore. I mean, they cut off the Overwatch League. Not the Overwatch League. The Overwatch League? Oh my god, I'm spacing, guys. Not the Overwatch League. Blizzard put a bunch of money into the Overwatch League. Sorry, it was, I forget which league it was. But it's just like, what are you guys doing? Like, literally, at the end of the day, like, what are you guys doing? Because you're not making the best decisions, in my opinion. I mean, I feel like you could be making way better decisions. Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. Yeah, and then the whole moving. We're moving esports to a franchise style, just like Overwatch is, which brings up a whole nother realm of issues, in my opinion. I think that is a poor move, and that's where I'm going to leave it at right now, because I know Big Ro wants to talk about that this weekend in our podcast. I don't want to spill all the beans before the beans need to be spilled. Needless to say, everything that came out of that investors meeting, that investors call, I was definitely left with more questions than answers after it. I don't feel like we got a lot of answers on our end as far as the consumer goes, which is fine. We're not this is an investors meeting, not a consumers meeting. But at the end of the day, I don't know, something about it just seems wrong. It seems off. It doesn't seem to make much sense, and I mean, that makes me a little worried for the franchise, because it's just like, I love playing Call of Duty, but as you guys can plainly see what's on the screen, it is not Call of Duty. And that is because, I mean, there are other games out there that are doing things better than what Call of Duty should be doing. And it is unfortunate, but it's the truth. It's a hard truth, but it's the truth. Deal with it, Activision Blizzard. Which, by the way, if we can figure out a better way to say their name, that'd be awesome, because their name takes forever to say. But, I don't know, guys. I mean, let me know what you guys think of everything that's gone on with Activision Blizzard this week. Just so you know, I will be making a video about what's going on with the release schedule for Black Ops 4, if you want to call it a release schedule. I have a lot to say on the topic, but at the same time, I need it to be a different video, just because there is so much to go into, especially when you're talking, Blackout, zombies, multiplayer. What are we talking about? It's not just multiplayer. It's not just zombies. Unfortunately, it's everything's getting the shaft. I'll leave it at that. And then with the esports thing, I mean, writing was on the wall. Overwatch League has been super successful, and so it makes sense that Activision Blizzard wants to also move their other big owned IP into a franchise model for them. I think that them talking about, we let Destiny go because there wasn't an owned IP. It's like, okay, great. But then that means you would literally have Call of Duty and Overwatch. That's it. It's not much. Not much at all. But who knows? I mean, it's Blizzard, it's Activision. We'll see what happens. But yeah, guys. I mean, that's kind of really all I got today. I don't know. I am concerned for the future. The fact that we are already. I mean, that the upper management is basically saying, like, all right, call it, Black Ops 4, you're done. Your time is spent. Your reign is over, and we're literally not even through February. We're not through February. We're not through DLC 2. I mean, there's just so much that could change between now and like the beginning of third quarter. I mean, because most of these guys actually, this is their first financial quarter. Next month, actually, yeah, March 1 typically. And so they got plenty of time, but it's just like, I don't know why you guys are like, oh, call it, it's done, it's over. Black Ops 4 sucked, duh. Even though it's still one of the best-selling games in the world. But in Activision's crazy mindset, it was a flop. But who knows? We'll see. It is interesting that they have changed kind of their tone on it, where they're saying that the 2019 Call of Duty by Infinity Ward, they're already expecting it not to pull through as many copies as Black Ops 4 did. And that's really interesting. So we'll see what happens as far as the DLC and whatnot goes for Black Ops 4. We'll see what happens with the continued press of the 2019 Call of Duty game. And I guess we'll see what happens with Activision in the long run here, guys. But definitely something to keep our eye on. Definitely something to keep ear to the ground on. I will be doing that as well for you guys. So as soon as more information comes out, you will know from me. And until then, guys, this has been the Keymaster 84. We play games to make games haters gonna hate. And I'll see you guys in this video. Peace.